Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360. That is JIB classes. Clear? So in this session, we have to discuss the chapter number 4, part 1. So I request to all of you go through the sessions on a regularly basis. Clear? All the sessions will be uploaded in your PPP group in a sequence way along with the MCQs. Okay, so attend the sessions regularly. Why I'm saying that? Because this time the examination fees, it is also 3000 plus. Clear? So if you continuously attend the sessions and do revision, so you will clear the exam in the first attempt. Clear? So please do your studies regularly. No need to waste your time and money. So let's start our discussion further. This session, it is very important for your examination point of view and your journal case. Like one question I will ask in the starting of the session, like this is basically chapter number 4, part 1. So this thing happened with one of my student last time in the interview. So in the interview, what they a minor account. A person has a minor account along with the guardian. That is, guardian is the signatory in that. Guardian dies before the minor attains 18 years of age. Now the minor, it is of 16 years of age. Now the minor goes to the bank that I want to operate the account. So, but the bank will hear that is, they will open the new account as per the guidelines, that is after above 10 years, minor is able to operate the account. Clear? Minor is able to operate the account, but they do not do anything with the previous account. Clear? And what they say that basically when you attain the 18 years of age, bring your guardian's death certificate along with that Aadhaar card. Okay. So at that time, what you have to do? This we have to discuss in this session. Clear? Why they are not closing that? Okay. All these types of things you will face in the interview also. Clear? You will face in the interview also. In what type of it? Like basically, if you are preparing for the scale 1 to scale 2 or from clerical to scale 1. Clear? At these types of interview, you will get these types of questions. Clear? Like death claim settlement. This case arises clear in that also. Death claim settlement. So now let's start our discussion. That is, what are the opening types, opening accounts of the various types of the customer. Part 1. So a banker deals. Clear? So here we have to discuss, that is, a banker deals with the different types of the customers. Clear? A banker basically deals with the different types of the customer. Like first one, that is the individuals, partnership firms, companies, cooperative societies, etc. Clear? So a banker basically deals with the different types of the customer: individuals, partnership firms, companies, cooperative societies. While opening and in the conduct of the accounts of these persons, the banker has to comply. That is, they have to follow the guidelines. The banker has to comply with the law applicable to each of them. Clear? So in that, what they have said, that the banker has to comply with the law applicable to each of them. Clear? With the law applicable to each of them. Certain aspects related to the opening accounts for the various types of the customers are to be discussed here. For opening an account, banks obtain account opening form from the prospective customer. Clear? That is, bank will give the account opening form to that customer, and the customer has to fill their details, basic details under that, and give back to the banker. While these forms of each bank are different in form, their contents are essentially to be similar, covering essential information about the account holder. Okay, the account opening form, it is little bit different among the banks, but the information, it is to be similar here. Covering essential information about the account holder, instructions for operations on the account, and certain declarations by the account holder. Clear? And further, that is certain declarations by the account holder. So it is important here. That is, it is an important document as it is a contract. Clear? The account opening form, it is very important document. Clear? So you have to check that properly, that is the information filled under that, it is to be correct or not. Clear? You have to cross verify also, that is from the like KYC, like Aadhaar card, they filled the correct one or not. Clear? So it is an important document as it is the contract between the customer and the bank for the related account. in pursuance of the KYC regulations, clear, in pursuance of the KYC regulation, in addition to their own account opening form, banks must obtain information as per the CKYCR forms prescribed for the individual and the legal entities. Clear? So along with that, banks have to be obtain information clear as per the guidelines prescribed for the individual and the legal entities. So please remember that basically what is the account opening form? Basically, it is the contract between the bank and the customer for the related account. Now further, first of all, we have to discuss regarding the personal account. Under that, we have to discuss regarding the accounts of the individual. First step which we have to discuss is that is the accounts of the individual. So an account can be opened for a single individual. An account can be opened for a single individual or two or more individuals jointly. Clear? Either an account can be opened for a single individual or two or more individuals jointly. An individual should be measured by age. An individual, further, that is an individual should be measured by age, that is 18 plus, of sound mind, and should not be undischarged, insolvent, or disqualified from contracting by any law which he is subjected to. Clear? Or disqualified from contracting by any law which he is subjected to. Further, that is the account opening form should be signed by the individual. Clear? The account opening form basically should be signed by the individual in whose name the account is going to be opened. Okay. So it is to be signed by that individual basically in whose we have to open the account. In certain situations, like when an individual it is not of sound mind or is a minor, in that case the form may be signed by her court appointed guardian or natural guardian as the case may be. Clear? So like if the person it is of 10 plus age, so in that case there are two things arises. Clear? Whether the minor will sign or the guardian will sign. Okay. So here, just in the case of the minor, I will discuss this case. So in certain situation, when the individual, clear, this is the regarding the individual, clear, that is not only less than 18 plus, over above that also, clear, this is the case of that. But in the case of the minor also, this is possible, clear. So in certain situations, like when an individual, it is not of sound mind or is a minor, the form may be signed by her, clear. So in that case, the form may be signed by her court-appointed guardian or the natural guardian as the case may be. Further, that is KYC documents should be obtained for the guardian also. Clear? In that case, where the guardian is to be the authorized signatory, KYC documents along with the image, like along with the photo. Clear? KYC documents should be obtained from the guardian also, since as per the anti-money laundering regulations, the guardian falls is in the definition of a customer. Clear? So here, the guardian falls basically as in the definition of the customer here. Okay. Now move to the next point. Joint account holder. Clear? Here that is the individual. Now here the account is to be joint account holder. Very, very important. That is the different types of operation. They will ask question in the examination on the basis of like your fourth paper, that is retail banking. In that you will find the questions from that also. Last year they have asked questions from that in the examination. Next one, that is the joint account holder. A joint account, it is an account opened in the name of two or more individuals. Clear? A joint account basically what is that? A joint account basically it is an account opened in the name of two or more individuals. These are opened when the funds belong to more than one person and they desire to exercise the joint control on their use. Clear? That is when the funds belong to two persons. Clear? So in that case, they want to open the account in the form of the joint name. Okay. So these are opened when the funds belong to more than one person and they desire to exercise the joint control on their use, or through the funds are earned by one person. Clear? Or through the funds are earned by one person, like there is a husband, wife. Husband is working outside the station, like basically outside their home. Clear? Like we can say that in different states. Clear? So they will open the joint account, that is the wife or the spouse can operate the account. Clear? In the absence of the first person. Clear? So they are open when the funds belong to more than one person and they desire to exercise the joint control on their use, or through the funds are earned by one person, but for convenient access to the another person, or to provide easy access to the funds in the event of the death of the person owing their funds. Clear? In the event of the death. Clear? Or to provide the easy access to the funds in the event of the death of the person owing the funds. Further, depending on the need and the situation, depending on the need and the situation, different operational modalities are to be opted for by the customers. So depending upon the need and the situation, different operational modalities are to be opted for by the customers. Further, first one here, that is when a joint account is opened. Clear here? First one, that is when a joint account is opened, the relationship among the joint holders and the purpose of having a joint account should be a certain. Clear? So when a joint account is opened, the relationship among the joint holders and the purpose of having a joint account. Okay. The relationship among the joint holders and the purpose of having a joint account should be a certain. It is also advisable to know the nature of expected funds. Clear? It is also advisable to know the nature of the expected funds inflows in the account. Clear? To know the nature of the expected funds inflows in the account. Okay. Like what are the different types of the operation? Like either a survivor, both, jointly, anyone. So these are the different types of operations I will discuss separately in one session. So joint accounts are generally opened with all the account holders being resident in India. Clear? That is, all the person are to be resident in India. But the NRI also can open the joint account. Clear? So what are the conditions under that? Joint accounts of the resident with the non-resident Indian, it is permitted only where the NRI, it is a close relative of all the resident account holders. Clear? So joint account, this one will be the question in the examination. Whether it will be permitted joint account in the form of the NRI? Yes. Maximum joint account holders in that case, it has to be 4. Clear? It has to be 4. This one you will get in the examination as the form of the question. So here joint accounts of the residents with the non-resident Indian, it is permitted only where the NRI, it is a close relative of all the resident account holders. Further, that is for a joint account. The account opening form should be signed by all the account holders. Clear? That is for a joint account. The account opening form, that is, should be signed by all the account holders. It further, that is, it should also contain restrictions regarding the mode of operations on the account. Clear? Further, that is, it should also contain instructions. Clear? It should also contain instructions regarding the mode of operations on the account. Clear? Regarding the mode of operations on the account. Clear? So this is regarding the joint account. Now, next one, that is, these types of things you will definitely get in the examination and in the interview also. Clear? Like accounts of the illiterate person or account of the blind person. These are very, very important to understand. Or accounts of the minor. Now here, that is account of the illiterate person. That is the person who put thumb impression or not able to do the sign. So the rules are relating to the account. Clear? The here, that is the rules relating to the account have to be clearly explained to an illiterate person. Clear? The rules are relating to the account have to be clearly explained to an illiterate person in a language understood by her. She should be advised that for withdrawing money from the account, clear? She should be advised that for withdrawing money from the account, she has to be personally come to the bank with the passbook every time. Clear? First of all, illiterate person has to be come with the bank every time for withdrawal. That is passbook they have to be take with him or her. Okay, that she should be advised that for withdrawing money from the account, she has to personally come to the bank. That is, not any other one can withdraw the money on the account of that person. That he has to personally come to the bank with the passbook every time. Further, that is, a current account should not be opened in the names of an illiterate person. sometime in the examination they will ask whether the current account will be opened in the name of the illiterate person or not. Yes, please remember that current account should not be opened in the name of the illiterate person. Second one, checkbook should not be issued to her under any circumstances, even in the case of joint accounts. Clear? Even in the case of the joint accounts, checkbook should not be issued. Clear? Checkbook, it basically means that the person is able to understand all the things, and illiterate person is, as per the law, it is not able to understand these things. So checkbook should not be issued. Third one, left hand thumb impression of the account holder. Clear? Left hand thumb impression of the account holder is to be obtained on the account opening form in the presence of an authorized bank officer and a person well known to the bank who will attest her thumb impression on the account opening form. Clear? Who will test her impression? Thumb impression, that is basically who will give the witness here. Clear? Who will give the witness here? Generally, that person, it is to be the account holder of the bank. Clear? Account holder of the bank. Okay, kindly remember that. Clear? So left hand thumb impression of the account holder is to be obtained on the account opening form in the presence of an authorized bank officer and a person well known to the bank. Clear? Further, that is, and a person well known to the bank attest her thumb impression. Clear? Attest her thumb impression on the account opening form. Clear? Attest her thumb impression basically on the account opening form. Next one, very, very important. These three. Fourth one, passport size photographs of the customer have to be obtained. One to be attached to the account opening form and another to the passbook. Clear? Very, very important. Clear? That is, passport size photographs of the customers have to be obtained. Clear? One we have to attach to the account opening form and another basically we have to attach to the passbook. Next one, every withdrawal should be orally confirmed by the account holder to the authorized official. Clear? Every withdrawal should be orally confirmed by the account holder to the authorized official. That is, when the person basically withdraws the money, the authorized official basically also tell that how much amount you are going to withdraw. Clear? Just that they orally confirmation for that. If the illiterate depositor intends to allow a literate person to operate his account. Clear? If the illiterate depositor here, that is, if the illiterate depositor intends to allow a literate person, clear, intends to allow a literate person to operate his account, so he has to submit an authorization indemnity letter. Clear? What is the meaning of the indemnity letter? That is, the account holder basically takes the responsibility of all the things if anything happened to the account. Clear? If the illiterate depositor intends to allow a literate person to operate his account, so he has to submit an authorization indemnity letter. Clear? He has to submit an authorization indemnity letter in the prescribed format with the condition that it can be operated only jointly by both. Clear? It can be operated only jointly by both. Clear? That is, if the literate person, so that both of them have to come to the organization or financial institution or to the bank for withdrawal of the money. Clear? Basically for withdrawal of the money. Further here, very, very important point which we have to notice here, that is, what is the point here? That is, note, no illiterate person account should be opened with the operation facility of either a survivor or by the literate person only. Clear? So this type of facility, that is, no illiterate person account should be opened with the operation facility of either. This we have not done, that is, we have to provide them the either a survivor, this is not possible, or by the literate person only, this is also not possible here. Clear? This is also not possible here. Clear? So we have to take care regarding all these 2 points also under that. So that is regarding the accounts of the illiterate person. Next one, account of the blind person. Clear? Account of the blind person. First one, there is no legal bar for a blind person to open a bank account. Clear? That is, there is nothing, any restriction. Legally, there is nothing, any restriction that blind cannot open account. There is nothing, anything there. Second one, due care must be exercised. Clear? That is, we have to exercise, due care must be exercised in accounts of the blind persons, as there may not be consistency in their signature, as they always depend upon the someone. Clear? As they are every time basically, like, we feel that basically they are not able to do properly sign because they have not able to see. So as they always depend upon someone, the chance for their being cheated is greater. So here the account holder may send a messenger for transaction whose reliability may not be known to the bank. Clear? Whose reliability may not be known to the bank. Further, that is, passport size photograph of the blind person have to be obtained. One to be attached to the account opening form and another to the passbook. Clear? And another to the passbook. Fourth one, the signature or the thumb impression of the blind person has to be attested by a person well known to the bank. Clear? Has to be, that is witness. Next one, where the branch manager is satisfied, he may allow a blind person to operate the account by herself or by a next of kin, that is family member of the blind person, after taking proper letter of authority basically from the blind person. Clear? After taking proper letter of authority. Clear? That is, on the behalf of the account holder, this person will operate the account. Clear? On the behalf of the account holder, this person will operate the account. Next one, whenever inconsistency. Clear? Basically, whenever inconsistency in the signature of a blind customer, it is noticed, her left hand thumb impression may also be obtained. Clear? So in some cases, clear, where are basically we are getting inconsistency. Clear? So in that case, basically what we have to do, we have to take the left hand thumb impression may also be obtained. Clear? Basically, left hand thumb impression may also be obtained in that case. Next one, that is, entries and the balance must be made up to date in the passbook at the time of each transaction and should also be read out to her when no other person is in hearing distance. Clear? So that the account holder will able to know that basically how much there is the account balance in the account. Clear? In the account. Clear? So after the transaction, basically it is our responsibility to tell her that. Clear? To tell them that. Okay. So that is regarding the account of the blind person. Next one, that is the account of the minor. Clear? Very, very important also, that is account of the minors. So according to the Indian Majority Act 1875, every person domiciled in India, clear, every person domiciled in India, including a minor for whom a guardian for the person or property is appointed by a court, clear, whom a guardian basically for the person or a property is appointed by the court, attains the age of majority, clear, that is, they are attaining the age of the majority on his or her completing the age of 18 years, clear, attains the age of majority on his or her completing the age of 18 years. That is very, very important. That is as per section 11 of Indian Contract Act. Clear? As per section 11 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, when the age of the maturity has been provided by the law to be 18 years, so any person, that is, even if it is less than like 17 years, 364 days, 363 days, that is also considered to be minor. Clear? As per section 11 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, when the age of maturity has been provided by law to be 18 years, so any person less than that age, clear, any person less than that age, even by a day, would be a minor by law. Clear? Even by a day would be a minor by law. It further states that every person, clear, basically it further states that every person is competent to contract who is of the age of the majority. Clear? Every person is competent to contract who is the age of the majority according to the law. He is a subject and who is of sound mind. Clear? According to the law, he is a subject and who is of sound mind and is not disqualified from contracting by any law to which he is subjected. Clear? To which he is subjected. Clear? That is when the person is competent to do contract. That is when the person it is 18 plus, that is, or when the person is attain the majority. Clear? Maturity, that is 18 plus years. The sense of this is that a minor is not competent. Clear? The sense of this is that a minor is not competent to enter into contract. Clear? That is, a minor is not able to do the contract. Clear? A minor is not able to do the contract here. Further, So with the view to inculcating the habit of thrift and savings, bank allows minor above the age of 10 years. Clear? So with the view to inculcating the habit of thrift and saving, what the bank will do, basically bank will allow the minors above the age of 30 years, above the age of 10 years, which I have already discussed in the starting of the session also. That is above the age of the 10 years to open and operate the deposit accounts. Clear? To open and operate the deposit accounts subject to the certain conditions. Clear? That they have given the facilities to them to open and operate the accounts, but subject to certain conditions. First one, opening of minor accounts need completion of the KYC formalities of both the minor and her guardian, and ascertaining and recording in the bank's systems her date of birth. Clear? And ascertaining and recording in the bank system her date of birth. Who is the natural guardian? The father is the natural guardian for opening the account. Clear? The father is the natural guardian basically for opening the account. But further, RBI has permitted the banks. Clear? The father is the natural guardian for opening the account. But RBI has permitted the banks to open the minor account with the mother as a guardian. Clear? But further, RBI has permitted the banks to open the minor account with the mother as a guardian. The term natural guardian, very, very important. This will be a question in the examination. That stepfather or stepmother, it is included under a natural guardian? No. The term natural guardian does not include stepmother or stepfather. Further, that is the minor should be literate. Yeah. Here one more condition, that the minor should be literate here. Okay, so kindly remember regarding all these points that are very, very important. Clear? That play very, very important role to be here. Now further we have to discuss some other points. Let's start other points also here. Two minors cannot open a joint account. Clear? This is very important. That is two minors here, that is cannot open a joint account. RBI has allowed the banks to offer facilities like the internet banking, ATM and debit card to a minor. Clear? RBI has allowed the banks to offer facilities like the internet banking, ATM and debit card to a minor, ensuring that the minor account will not be overdrawn. Clear? That is overdrawn basically means that that is a loan. Clear? So this type of thing, it is not provided to the customer. Clear? That account cannot be overdrawn. Bank can decide on the document that will be needed to open the account by the minors. Clear? So banks can decide on the documents that will be needed to open the accounts by the minor. Clear? That will be needed to open the accounts by the minor. Now move to the next point here. What are the rules for operations for the accounts of the minors? Clear? What are the rules for operation? Basically for one, for whom? Basically for the accounts of the minors. The minor account, first one, that is the minor account should not be allowed to be overdrawn. Clear? First point here, that is the minor's account should not be allowed to be overdrawn. Second one, Section 26 of the NI Act. Section 26 of the NI Act basically provides that a minor may draw, endorse. Clear? That a minor may draw, endorse, deliver and negotiate a negotiable instrument. And as such, a minor can draw a check. Clear? So that a minor may draw, endorse, deliver and negotiated a negotiable instrument, and as such a minor can draw a check also. Next one, on the minor attaining the majority. Clear? On the minor attaining the majority, the guardian is not allowed to operate the account any further. Clear? So on the minor, basically when the attaining the majority, the guardian is not allowed to operate the account any further without confirmation from the minor. Clear? That the person becomes a major now. Clear? Without confirmation. Like you will see regularly in the banks that the guardian will come and operate the account. Even the minor attains the age of 23, 24. Clear? Sometimes we will not check that. Clear? So it's our responsibility that we have to continuously check that. Clear? That is, passbook should be along with that. Clear? Like when the person comes for withdrawal, so we have to check the date of birth on the passbook. Next one, that is, banks are free to fix a minimum age at which they will allow the minor to operate the saving bank's account independently. Clear? Generally, it will be 10 years. Above 10 years, basically, they will give the flexibility that the minor can operate the account independently. Next one, ordinary balances in such accounts are subject to a maximum amount as decided by the bank. Clear? As decided by the bank. Clear? So there are restrictions also under that, basically for maintaining the balance. Clear? For maintaining the balance. Next one. So in the event of the death, this point we have discussed at the starting. In the event of the death of the minor, clear, if the minor expired, the guardian has to close the account. Clear, the guardian has to close the account. On attaining the majority, clear, this is the first point. In the event of the death of the minor, clear. Next point, that is there one more case arises, that is in the death of the guardian, okay, which we also discussed. On attaining the majority, the erstwhile minor should confirm the balance in her account. Fresh opening instructions, clear, at that time. Either you have to open the fresh account or you have to take the fresh form, clear, fresh form. Fresh along with the instructions, clear, fresh operating instructions for operations by the guardian, clear, fresh operating instructions basically for operations by the guardian, and the fresh specimen signature, clear, this is very, very important. And the fresh specimen signature of the erstwhile minor should be obtained and the kept on record, clear. Even sometimes basically there is a habit that of obtaining the new form also, clear, of obtaining the new form also. That is when the minor becomes a major, clear. So they will take the new form also, because in the new form the minor the account holder has to sign, clear. In the earlier form the guardian has signed, okay. So fresh operating instructions for the operations by the guardian and fresh specimen signature of the erstwhile minor should be obtained and kept on record. Last point, if the guardian dies, the next one, that is if the guardian dies during the minority of the account holder, then the balance can be paid to the minor after his attaining majority, clear. So if the guardian dies, clear, next point that is very, very important, that is if the guardian dies during the minority of the account holder, clear, if the guardian dies during the minority of the account holder, then the balance can be paid to the minor, clear. In that case, that the balance, clear, this point at the starting of the session I will discuss. In that case, the balance can be paid to the minor after his attaining majority, clear. In that case, the balance can be paid to the minor after his attaining majority, clear, after his attaining majority, clear. So hope what we have discussed in this session, it is clear to all of you, clear. Just I request all of you go through the video at least 2 times. No need to go through any other material. Definitely you are able to attend the question in the examination, and hope these things, this session also help us to learn many new points, clear. If you like the video, then please share this video with your friends also, and please do the valuable feedback in the comment section also. So thanks to all of you for joining this session. In the next session, basically we will discuss further regarding the different types of the account, regarding like HUF account, partnership account, proprietorship account, clear. All these things we have to be discussed in the next session. So thanks to all of you for joining this session. And you can also join the session, like if you want to join the PPB course, accounts course, retail course, and Indian economy. Overall, that it is to be rupees 3,000. And what is the important thing, that we will charge only one time from you, clear. And its validity, that is still you clear the exam, basically for these 4 subjects, we will not charge you again. Okay. For all updates, you can join our Telegram group. You can also subscribe our YouTube channel, and for any query, you can mail on our email ID also. So thanks to all of you for joining this session.